Hey folks, Mr. Dell here. We are looking at given a rate, can I find a unit rate? But I'm going to find two different unit rates based on how they're asking the units to be in a line on what the rate would be. So this is a question from CPM, and this is course 2. And I'm taking this from sections 4.2.3 and 4.2.4, but specifically from the parent guide worksheet. Okay. And this is number 11 from that parent guide worksheet. So here it is. A car traveled 200 miles on 8 gallons of gas. Then it says find the unit rate of miles per gallon and the unit rate of gallons per mile. So I have two different unit rates I have to find. Well, first of all, we need to start by writing a rate as a fraction, right? Write a rate as a fraction. That is also known as a ratio, right? A ratio is a rate as a fraction. So my ratio for my very first line here, right? My first line says a car traveled 200 miles and 8 gallons of gas. So what is my ratio? What is my rate? It's 200 miles, right? So as a fraction, over 8 gallons of gas. And I'll just abbreviate. So I have 200 miles for 8 gallons. That is my rate as a fraction, my ratio. Now, I need to find two unit rates. So let's do one at a time. The first one is miles per gallon. So remember, a unit rate is always something, right? Something per one of that same thing. And a unit rate can also be written as a fraction. So that something per one something is also saying it this way: something over one of something else, right? So it's getting your fraction to have a denominator of 1. That's a unit rate. So right now I have a fraction and I have miles over gallons. So I have the right setup, miles per gallon, but I want it per 1 gallon. So what do? I need to make sure that I have 1 gallon in my denominator. That's the unit rate. Unit rate always has 1 of whatever you're dealing with. So how do I get an 8 to become a 1? We use in the rules of fractions, I can only either divide or multiply top and bottom. So in this case, I'm going to divide. I want to take 8 and divide by 8, and that gives me 1. So what I do to the bottom of a fraction, I always do to the top. So I got to take 200 divided by 8. Okay, so 200 divided by 8, and again, if you needed to, you can do the long division on that. Or if you've got a calculator, of course, and you're allowed to use calculators, we will have a calculator. So let's see, clear. I'm going to do 200 divided by 8, and I get 25. So there's 25. That tells me 25 miles for every 1 gallon. That's the math. I take my rate as a fraction and I reduce it or simplify it to have a denominator of 1. So there's my unit rate, the first one, miles per gallon. So right there, I can write it that way. I can say 25 miles per gallon. G-A-L, I'll just write the words, gallon. So there's my first answer, correct? Now, it also says I need to find the unit rate of gallons per mile. So wait a second. I have miles per gallon, but I want gallons per mile. So I need to now take this and flip it. It's a fraction. It's a rate. So I need my rate not to be miles over gallons. I need my rate to be gallons over miles, because that's what I want. I want gallons per mile. So I'm going to rewrite it as 8 gallons for 200 miles. Oops. So that is the setup this time, because I need it to be gallons per mile. Before I had miles per gallon, now I need gallons per mile. So that's my new rate. And again, once again, I just need to take that rate and convert it to be 1 mile on the bottom. So what math do? I divide top and bottom by 200 this time. So this time I'm dividing by 200, because 200 divided by 200 is 1. So what is 8 divided by 200? Well, 8 divided by 200, again, use a calculator on that one. You should get, if you have your calculator, 8 divided by 200 is 0.04 or 4/100ths. So it's 4/100ths gallons for every 1 mile. So there's my other unit rate. I would say 0.04 or 4/100ths gallons per mile. That is the other unit rate that they were asking for. So you have miles per gallon and gallons per mile. Okay, I hope that helped.